We have been talking about Project 2025. Project 2025 is scary in that the GOP, the Christofascists, are on track. They are very meticulous. They have a game plan on how they are turning America into Gilead. They really want to make it so that women and girls are second class citizens, and they are doing it strategically and in our faces. So, this election cycle is not just about the presidency. Project 2025 is a game plan that is attempting to put Republicans, conservatives, Christo fascists in every level of government so that they can continue to chip away at women and girls' rights. Now, this content creator is talking about what Republicans are doing as far as child marriage, teen pregnancy, and no fault divorce.
We should be talking about this way more. Republicans are currently launching a three-pronged assault that's going to have major implications on our society. And I've seen a few posts that are talking about each of these separately, but I want to show you the connection between all three. First up, child marriage is currently legal in 42 states, which on its own is alarming AF. But Republicans have actually been fighting to keep it that way. Missouri Republicans recently doubled down on their child marriage stance, and West Virginia Republicans recently blocked a child marriage ban. Republicans are really out here being like 12 years old? Oh yeah, that's old enough. Which brings us to item 2. In Alabama, the State Department has been rewriting documents about teen pregnancy to use different language. Like, for example, non-marital teen birthright, out-of-wedlock pregnancies, unmarried adolescents, which moves the focus away from age at pregnancy to marital status at pregnancy. And rounding out our trifecta is item number 3, where Texas Republicans are coming for no-fault divorce, which is where you don't have to show proof of wrongdoing of your spouse in order to file for divorce. Contrary to what Republicans want you to think, no-fault divorce protects people. It allows them to exit abusive, harmful marriages that aren't working for them. When it was first legalized, the rate of female suicide in the US dropped by 20%. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down about this golden triad of destruction, you'll notice that they're keeping child marriage legal. They're reducing only out-of-wedlock pregnancies, which means they're cool with young girls getting pregnant as long as the young girls are married. And they're making it harder to get divorced. And of course, all the while, abortion's illegal. Republicans are really out here shamelessly telling women how much they hate us. They're like, oh wait, you thought you were people? No, let's clear that right up.
She also made a video where she's talking about how they're coming for contraception. Now, each of these states are doing something a little different, but it's all to take away the rights of women. Now, they try to couch it in the fact that they are just trying to preserve the unborn and all of that, but they don't want women and girls to have the opportunity to even prevent pregnancy. So it's showing that they just really want women and girls to be incubators. Each state might be doing something a little different, but you can tell that they are working off of the same game plan. And just as soon as they have a Republican and a Republican president in office, they are going to use that to push these legislations through. They are doing it on a state by state level, but it's all part of their master plan of Project 2025. And this is not some of us just running around saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling. No, they have been systematically and systemically chipping away at women's and girls' rights since the Reagan era. And by putting so many conservative judges on the Supreme Court and by having these game plans, they are actually they've been creating Project 2025 in Gilead for decades now. So when we're talking about this stuff, it is not simply us being inflammatory or being outrageous. No, this is happening right
This isn't something that's coming in the future. It's already begun. The GOP offensive on birth control is very much underway. The GOP's latest attack on contraception happened just this week in Oklahoma, where the House of Representatives is actively considering a bill that would revoke the over-the-counter status of emergency contraception and also restrict access to IUDs. Play this out with me for a second, okay? Emergency contraceptives, like Plan B and the morning after pill, are most effective within 24 hours. You can take them after that, but the efficacy reduces the longer you wait. Instead, Republicans want women to get an appointment with the doctor, go see the doctor, get a prescription from the doctor, get the prescription filled, and then take the pill within the efficacy period. But also, don't have an. If you were no exceptions. If you're underage, no exceptions. And you'd be less likely to need emergency contraception if you had, let's say, a long acting contraceptive, like, I don't know, maybe an IUD. But if you can't get that either, then, like, what are your options really? And just because the bill's in Oklahoma doesn't mean it's gonna stay in Oklahoma. Every state that has determined that life begins at fertilization is going to implement this. And to be clear, this isn't my interpretation or me being dramatic. Like, when Dobbs happened, Clarence Thomas said that the court should reconsider the right to contraception. And since then, Republicans have repeatedly shown us that that is what they're trying to do. They didn't support the Right to Contraceptives Act. They didn't support the Equal Right to Contraceptive Access for Veterans Act. So to recap, for anyone with a uterus, you can't get birth control, you can't get emergency contraception, and you definitely can't get an... So make sure you fulfill your societal role and birth away.
Child marriage is still legal in 80% of the states. Only the states that are highlighted here in pink have banned child marriage. Oh, and child marriage was legal in all 50 states until 2018. That's when states started banning child marriage. We can act like we're better than some of those other countries that allow child marriage, but no, it's happening right here in the United States. For some reason, most Americans do not realize these abuses are still happening. Most Americans agree that forced marriage and child marriage are terrible and heartbreaking. They imagine this happening on the other side of the world, and I wish there was something we could do to show that it's happening right here. Basically, these archaic laws need to be updated. It's not just happening over there, it's happening right here. I'm not going to do this whole article. I'm going to pick and choose pieces of it. But this part says child marriages create a nightmarish legal trap for minors who don't have a right to escape from parents, planning an unwanted wedding, or to leave an abusive spouse, or in some cases, to even enter a DV shelter. We're not arguing that you wake up on your 18th birthday with a newfound wisdom and maturity and the ability to choose a life partner. It's about legal capacity. You wake up on your 18th birthday with legal rights of adulthood. There is often little that can be done to legally remove minors from their spouses. The youngest bride Reese has seen in 10 years was 10 years old, but helping somebody under the age of 18 run away from home or escape from an abusive situation would likely result in criminal charges for the advocates and anyone who attempted to help. Not only do we rarely have a positive outcome, but in many cases, what ends up happening is these girls turn to self-deletion attempts and self-harm. We have created a legal situation where I can understand why they would think that taking their life is the only way out. So the only states that have banned child marriage are Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Delaware. All of the other places you can see is still legal to get married, and you can see the various ages here. This is another part that I wanted y'all to see. What does child marriage typically look like? Child marriage is not impacting girls and boys equally. No, it's typically girls being wed off to older men. It says girls are far more likely to be wed as children than boys. 86% of minors wed between 2000 and 2018 were girls, Unchained found, according to data that included gender breakdowns. Both the United States State Department and the United Nations have called child marriage and forced marriage human rights abusives. And the last part I wanted to show, about 60,000 of marriages since 2000 involved a child at an age or a marriage with a spousal age difference that would otherwise have been considered a sex crime. So this is where we are. They are trying to allow girls to get married to these old men. They want to make sure that birth control is hard to get. They want to make sure that women and girls don't have the rights to delete a pregnancy, even an unwanted pregnancy, and they want to make it harder to get rid of I'm sorry, they want to get rid of no fault divorce. So, no fault divorce, when it came into effect, made it easier to get a divorce. And that started happening like in the late 70s. So, the pros: no need to show a spouse's fault as a basis for divorce. Either of the partners can initiate the process. They can resolve this divorce quicker, and they may have reduced legal fees and attorneys' expenses. Now, why do Republicans want to get rid of this? Because they want women and girls to stay trapped. If the relationship was toxic or abusive, the spouse can just leave because it doesn't matter who initiated the divorce. When no fault divorce was introduced, women and girls' self deletion rates dropped dramatically. Women got the rights. This was right around the time when feminism was fighting for the rights for women and girls to get educated and go into the workforce. So, this added to women and girls having more bodily autonomy and more autonomy in general. And also, the stigma of shame is disappearing or has disappeared with no fault divorce. So that is one, I mean, quite a few of things that have happened since no fault divorce has been put in place. But Republicans are attempting to chip away at all of the rights that are keeping women with bodily autonomy, financial independence, and a happier and healthier well being. They want us to go back to being dependent financially and through all of these legal repercussions on a man. They're trying to keep us in bondage, and they're doing so by starting with these laws that content creator was first talking about in Project 2025, where they're attempting to put everything. They're trying to put people at every level of government so they could solidify these rights. I mean, these laws that strip women and girls of our rights. So y'all have got to be aware of this, and y'all got to vote at each level. It's not just about the president. It's the representation. I mean, the representatives. It's the senators. It's mayors. It's governors. It's the the school PTA. It's all of that. All of that is coming together, and the Republicans, the Christofascists, are really trying to create a Gilead, basically. All right, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.